The Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
Breaking news here at 10, a third water main break in the last 24 hours is impacting another community tonight. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. The break is near the intersection of Brockett Street and the Berlin Turnpike in Newington. This is video from the scene just less than an hour ago. Look at that. The owner of a package store in the plaza says the break happened around 5 this afternoon. Our Fox 61 News crew says there was an excavator and trucks, but they left around 9 tonight. A section of the parking lot's closed, and right now the water's not flowing over the turnpike. We're still following for updates.
And now at 10, the temperatures just keep dipping into the deep freeze, and there are still several more days of it ahead. And that's why we begin tonight with a weather impact alert.
Yeah, the air temperatures are getting colder and colder. So that's what it actually is out there. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with the first check of the forecast. But we also got to talk about the wind chills, don't we, Rachel?
Yeah, sub-zero wind chills are a given, but we will see actual temperatures dipping below zero as we head into Friday night and Saturday morning. Not record cold, but definitely the coldest air of the season so far. So we did have this weather impact alert extended right into Sunday morning for either sub-zero wind chills or temperatures in the single digits, just to give you a heads up to grab the hats, scarves, gloves, because the cold's really only dangerous if you're not dressed appropriately for it. There are some snow showers, not for us, but to the south, and you can see they're getting some enhancement from being over the ocean because the air is so cold and the ocean is warm in comparison. Right now, temperatures are already in the single digits to around 10 inland and teens to around 20 for the Connecticut shoreline. Here's where we're headed as we head towards daybreak tomorrow, near zero for Wyndham by daybreak. Here's a look at temperatures. Again, we start off in the single digits, but we will see temperatures rebound into the 20s, almost a carbon copy of today, tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine and temperatures in the 20s, which is below average, but not too bad. And then all eyes will be on a developing coastal storm for Sunday. No big change in our thinking. We still think that the worst stays offshore, but it's still a forecast we need to follow closely because the storm is so intense. We'll take a closer look. Your full forecast is coming up.
Rachel, thank you. Now, these extreme cold temperatures may force people to turn to space heaters this week, and according to the National Fire Protection Association, space heaters and heating stoves are the two top causes of home fires.
And we've been noticing an increase in house fires this week. I'm sure you have too. Fox 61's Valerie Moravi asked the experts, how can you stay safe if you do have to use a space heater?
With sub-zero temperatures expected, you might want to use space heaters to stay warm. But experts want to remind everyone about the danger of leaving this equipment unattended.
We are right now running a full capacity schedule, so what that means is 7 days a week, and I mean the phone doesn't really stop in these temperatures, yeah.
HVAC and plumbing manager at Call the Bee in Farmington, Joseph Pizzalongo says they're ready to embrace the increase in service calls due to the weather conditions.
Winter, you know, for obvious reasons, right, is a little bit more dangerous, right? Things freeze, and colder temperatures are a lot harder to work around than the warmer temps.
According to the National Fire Protection Association, 70% of the injuries in home fires are caused by heating equipment. And while it's important to make sure your heating supply is running properly, Pizzalongo says you must keep several safety measures in mind.
When we get snow like we recently just had, making sure that your units are clear of snow. Some systems utilize an outdoor portion of it. Usually the homeowner knows that. It's a very kind of rare system. It's what we would call a heat pump. Making sure that the snow is cleared out around that. If we have a heating system that vents its exhaust gases through the sidewall of the home, also want to make sure that snow isn't getting that as well. They need to be above the snow line. So that can cause issues.
Pizzalongo says some homeowners turn their system off and back on, but he says you should avoid doing that.
What that's actually going to do, it's going to cause more failures. It's also going to use a lot more fuel. The system has to work twice as hard when it has to heat the house up from a colder temperature.
And while you turn into bed, experts recommend you give your space heater some space. Pizzalongo says it's important to keep your space heater at least 3 feet away from anything that could burn.
The ones that we do are very safe, though, and as you can see, it's running right now. Fan is on, it's glowing. If this were to tip and fall for any reason, it's going to shut right down. There's a little button at the bottom of this. I can show it. When that button is depressed, it'll run. When that lets go, it will shut off.
And remember to always plug your space heater directly into the wall and never use it with an extension cord.
Now again, always make sure to keep all supplies supervised. In Farmington, Valerie Moravi, Fox 61.
And don't forget, the state's cold weather protocol will last until Thursday of next week. Contact 211 for shelter, warming centers, or transportation.
I saw my favorite diner on fire, and I said, well, that can't be true, right? So it was shocking and a little bit devastating.
Fire in Thomaston last night spread through multiple businesses, including a diner called Patty's Place.
And now one community member has stepped up to start a fundraiser to help, and it's already raised more than $20,000.
Well, Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot shares how you can help.
Many people say Patty's Place is a staple, or it's their second home because of how frequent they go. Now the restaurant is in ashes, and some say this is a big loss.
I saw my favorite diner on fire, and I said, well, that can't be true.
Tuesday morning, Thomaston and other nearby fire departments put out a fire that destroyed 5 different businesses, including Patty's Place. And now this loss is being felt all across town.
It's a big loss. A lot of people in this town really like the diner. They like Mike and Patty. They're great people.
I get 2 bacon, egg, and cheese, extra bacon, salt, pepper, and ketchup, and one of them is for my 4 German Shepherds, and one of them is for me.
I was here yesterday. I was going to go here this morning. They got a good breakfast in here, man. She's a good lady. Good people. You know what I mean? That's just too bad.
Derek Savoy said he gets breakfast at Patty's Place 4 times a week. He didn't know Tuesday would be his last.
It was shocking and a little bit devastating, for sure.
Now his favorite breakfast spot is covered in debris and yellow tape. Savoy says because he goes there so often, he wants to help Patty, Mike, and the rest of the staff.
I'm hoping for between $30,000 and $40,000 to, provide Patty and her family, as well as perhaps some of the wait staff at the restaurant, with a bit of a cushion while they figure out their next moves.
And he's not the only one helping. Another restaurant, Rozzi's, will be taking donations for Patty. In a statement on social media, Patty's restaurant wrote, "To our customers, we truly love serving you, and the memories will stay with us forever. Patty and Mike poured 35+ hard-earned years into Thomaston, and it's safe to say the town won't be the same."
The owners of Patty's, they've been in business over 35 years, right? They're pillars in the community, and they're so kind and so warm and so welcoming that, I can't thank everybody enough who's participated or donated or even just shared the GoFundMe.
Savoy tells me while he doesn't have a connection with the other businesses destroyed, he wants to help them somehow too. In Thomaston, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
So good to see.
Yeah, it sounds like a bunch of people are jumping in to help. Maybe they'll be able to rebuild.
I know. Well, if you want to help, we have a link on our website, fox61.com.
Well, in East Hartford, the water main break on School Street has been repaired now, and the water line is back in service as of 5:30 p.m. this evening. The Metropolitan District, which is a water utility service, says crews are still working on Burnside Avenue, where the situation's a bit more complicated. They are replacing a hydrant as part of that repair. Businesses in the area were affected, including a barber shop and an auto repair shop that had to close or send employees home. Metropolitan District crews continue to work throughout the evening to resolve the issue.
And then the water main break has now been repaired after it turned a quiet West Haven neighborhood into a river overnight. A lot of people had to deal with flooding in their homes today, and that whole neighborhood was without water. Fox 61's Tim Latow spoke with them. He has more.
It was an 8-hour repair process to fix the broken main and to patch up the road behind me. On top of all that, crews say a gate that controls the flow of water broke, and it sent water in all directions, both above and below ground.
We had no water because the water main break, and I don't even know what they're really doing here. There's a lot of stuff going on. I couldn't even get down the road, so it's a little crazy here.
Cam Levy just moved to West Haven 6 months ago and was woken up to no water in his pipes, but plenty on his road. Pedro Rodriguez and his wife were the first neighbors to call 911 after they found 2 inches of water in their basement at 4 in the morning.
This shouldn't be happening. It's freezing outside. Where's the water coming from? Thought it was a pipe. Got my clothes on, went outside, and saw this torrential, river of water and muck.
Rodriguez is thankful the damage isn't worse after the water had enough force to crack through the surface of the road. Repair crews say the water was still flowing into a neighbor's basement when they got on scene.
One of the ladies actually, her basement, the water was running through all the way down to her basement. So the water was, it was surfacing bad.
Nick Crotto with the Regional Water Authority says a gate broke 15 feet away from where the water cracked through the road. It was caused in part by bolts that rotted out. It took the crews more than 5 hours to restore water to the neighborhood.
So once we realized the leak was farther back, I backfilled that hole, came over here and dug the next hole, and we found the leak. It was actually a gate.
Tom Cherizo wishes his shower was working this morning, but he knows it could have been worse after never seeing a water main break in his neighborhood in nearly 4 decades.
Could have been worse. I know there's some water went down there, and no, first time in 38 years we ever had any major problems with it.
And crews used a type of rapid asphalt that quickly hardens to patch up the ground. In West Haven, Tim Lateau, Fox 61.
Tim, thank you. Choate Rosemary Hall in Wallingford is currently dealing with a partial power outage that is affecting parts of its campus. The spokesperson with the school says while many buildings have heat and power, some do not. So the school is relocating students to dorms with power for the night. Some local families have also stepped in to host students, and crews are working to resolve the issue.
Well, new tonight, Connecticut State Police are investigating a racial slur that was found etched into the snow on a car in Mansfield. Police say it happened Tuesday afternoon in a downtown parking garage. But since it's still under investigation, police don't have many details for us.